So today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the PlayStation 3, why I think it's a better console than the PlayStation 2 in terms of library, and also other factors as well. So I first played on the PlayStation 3 in 2018 at the age of 10. It was a pretty good console in my opinion. It had a lot of good games like Mod Nation Racers, Haze, and Infamous, and other games like that. Although some of the games I just talked about I never really played. However, I did play Mod Nation Racers, Little Big Planet, and some other PlayStation 3 games that I won't probably say because, I probably won't remember much of it. But overall, I would say that the PlayStation 3 was one of Sony's best consoles in gaming history. Sure, it did have some problems, like probably the yellow ring of death or something like that, or the high price point it had during launch where it cost like $600 or something. But overall, I would say that this console is an amazing PlayStation console. You can do a lot of things with it. You can jailbreak it, you can play some games, you can talk to users and chats and everything. It's just mind-blowing as a console, especially during the time it was released. It was such a big thing back in this day, but now it doesn't look revolutionary now, but back when it came out, yeah, it was revolutionary. Now, I won't lie to you, when I talked about the PlayStation 3 being ahead of its time, some kids were like, laughing, or like, they were like, what, this guy, why is he saying the PlayStation 3 is, ahead of his time? But I gotta be honest, that I think the PlayStation 3 is ahead of its time because simply it just had diverse library of games, let alone the graphics. It had great games, great compatibility, just great everything. That's just the PlayStation 3 for me. I think it's better than the PlayStation 2 in terms of library because of the fact that it has backwards compatibility with PlayStation 2 games. It has its own exclusive games that are diverse, even some that are unknown and not common, like Haze that I just mentioned before, and other types of games as well. So, yeah, the PlayStation 3 boasted a ton of games, and there are even games that I play on the RPCS3 emulator, if a PlayStation 3 emulator, and some of it works well, just playing some games that are, just 2D animated, like 2D games. Those are very good, but overall, I gotta say that the PlayStation 3 is one of Sony's best consoles that they ever made. Now, I'm not saying that the PlayStation 3 is necessarily better than any other PlayStation console. That's subjective in itself. But I do think there are some certain places where the PlayStation 3 reigns supreme over the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 4, or even PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 5. Because, again, PlayStation 3 had like tons of games, It may have like mainstream games that are there, like God of War, Skate 3, some other games that are well known that are on the PlayStation 3, with some of them being on the Xbox 360 as well. But overall, I gotta tell you that the PlayStation 3 had more than just those games. It had some games, a plethora of games that are, that are deep down under the ground, that are not easy to find. Just like what I said on my PlayStation 5 video on the John McCraden channel, you can check that out. I did say that the PlayStation 3 was Sony's best console, or certainly similar to that statement, and I did express myself about that. So it is a video that's on Odyssey, you can go check it out, but the PlayStation 3 is definitely one of Sony's best consoles. Now, this is my video about the PlayStation 3. It may be a little short because I don't really have much to say about the PlayStation 3. even though I've experienced the PlayStation 3 from the age of 10 to 11, and then went on the PlayStation 3 again back at the age of 14, I believe, which was back in 2022 when we went to Togo. So that was a feeling experience to have, just to play the PlayStation 3 again and just experience some of those games like God of War Ragnarok and other types of stuff as well. Or, you know, one of the other PlayStation 3 games. But overall, I gotta tell you that this game console just amazes me. It has a good library, at least, you know. Sure, it does lack some stuff that makes it better than previous consoles, but overall I gotta say that the PlayStation 3 is generally a great console. I mean, maybe I got bored of it over time, but overall I gotta say that this console is a good console. It's not partly due to anything that I have about the console that isn't satisfying. Of course, it has some good features and good stuff. It has the X and B menu, it has digital stores, you know, like servers and all this other stuff. So the PlayStation 3 to me was a great console to have. Never mind about some of the missteps or missayings I've said in the video. I'm just trying to express why I think the PlayStation 3 deserves to be one of Sony's best consoles in the gaming market. How it just exploded with Last of Us 2013 and other type of games as well. So the PlayStation 3 to me is just better than the Xbox 360 in my opinion, because while it did have some problems, it was more expensive than the 360. It still was able to surpass the 360 during the end of its lifespan, just as I mentioned in other videos that I made. However, this console is definitely a great console. Now that gotta be it for this video. I want to hear your thoughts on the PlayStation 3, what you think about it, where you first experienced it, what was your favorite games on it, and a whole bunch of other stuff related to the PlayStation 3, and so on and so forth. Metro